scared to death.
What up, peeps? Hurry up and wait. That's indeed. Yeah, the red Mountain Dews are still. Those never get old. Never get old. Yeah. So the backstory behind that is he knows he can't get drinks like that in the morning, and we were getting. It was like 6 a.m. before he went to North Carolina, and he was like, "I can get this," and I'm like, "Sure, go ahead." And so that's why he was just like staring at it like in awe that, and then of course he was sitting there giving me that smirk that he was drinking it before he got on the plane. So yeah, the Baja Blast is good. I think didn't Baja Blast like Taco Bell had like the where you had to go in Taco Bell to get it, I believe. So but I think you can get it now in the cans and stuff. There's another one. What's that? It's like the watermelon or something. There's a newer one I saw that's a really good one. It's a watermelon Mountain Dew. So, um, what's up, everybody? We got a pretty big crowd of some of the regulars. If you're new to the thing, we don't really have any like set schedule of stuff. I have a few ideas of things I want to do or show. Like you saw the thumb, I couldn't figure out something to put that was smart ass, so I just went with even the word the smart ass more than that. So, um, yeah, we always talk about no, when we talk about drinks, flying moose. I think because of the intro. So, um, pitch black and watermelon. What was the what was the Pepsi one? It was a weird color Pepsi one. I can't remember. That voltage one? So, one thing I didn't know I would actually like is a simple little Zigbee remote with 4 buttons on it. I didn't really think I would like it this much, but I really enjoying having this remote. Big numbers, so I'm not having to do the trombone thing much. I can just see the numbers. It's pretty great. Let's see. We have. Yeah, my wife got out of all that stuff. She's in doing just the embroidery stuff right now. Um, yeah, it's a Zigbee. I just happen to see it. Every once in a while, I go and dig on, of course, of all things, Amazon, right? Um, let's see. And they had a couple listings for it. It's Moe's, which for the most part, Moe's will come up as Zigbee Remote. I would just look for Zigbee. See that I know some people have talked about this little 4 button EU looking thing, and but then they have this, and they had a couple listings of it. Well, they were different prices at the time. Um, yeah, see, there's like one with no coupon. Oh, that one's $22 with 15%. And then here's another one that's $21 with $2 off. So it looks like it's both Moe's. And I think I ordered the one right here. So let me fix my other window. And it pairs right up. And it pairs right up with Zigbee to MQTT. Where's it at? I don't know if y'all saw the new feature that you can put descriptions on things. And the only thing I don't like about the remote is now I can't find it. Look, here it is, the very bottom. The only thing I like about the remote is if you hold any of the buttons down too long, it goes back into pairing mode. That's the only thing. But it comes up as this 4-button remote thing. So I'm guessing it's just repackaged in this just more of in a handheld. They do have a I don't know what I did with it. They do have a little bracket with it that it slides in. So I guess if you wanted to mount this to the wall, but I'm not going to mount a bracket to the wall. I'm just going to leave it on my desk and lose it and wonder why I didn't get 2 of them or something. Didn't do the AliExpress thing and order 2 of everything. And I guess the only side, I wish they would have done AAA's. Because the only thing it has is that little 12-volt battery thing. Wait, it's not letting you chat, dead end? I can just change that. I set that. I wonder if it'll let me change that without screwing the stream up. And dead end isn't sub to me, man. I mean, it's all about the... No, it's actually not about the subs anymore these days. Let's see. Luckily, let's see if it lets... If the stream stops, it's all dead end's fault. Yeah, that should fix it. I guess. Try that dead end, see if that works. Yeah, look. I turned it off. What did I miss on? That UHF? Yeah, those batteries. I don't know why they did that with those funky batteries. That's so weird. I'm turned off. Well, just go get in one of your elevators. One of them. So, yeah. We haven't had any problems with trolls or anything, but I just wanted to... I set that way back. Never changed it, I guess. Nobody complained. It's weird. Yeah. So there. See, look, Sour's gonna say it. You can say smash it. Give me a thumbing. The proper thumbing. Everybody needs a proper thumbing, right? I don't know if the Dr. Node MCU popper's in here. I don't know if he'd approve. Create a channel to join the chat? What is that? I don't even know what that is, dead end. I did turn it off. Turn off all subscribers. So, yeah. If we do get trolls back for some reason, I just go back and turn it off. Y'all let me know. So, we get the means you don't have. Okay. See, look, they're helping them over in the Discord. My wonderful drinks are in their way. All right. So, and I did find, I know we were talking about, I couldn't find something forever and a day ago. I was looking for a Zigbee Dimmer that handled like 200 watts of LED, and I found one, and it actually works halfway decent. I have it on my 200 watt LED panel in the backyard. Actually, it works halfway decent. But the damn thing is massive. I think it's made in Australia. So I know they have some stringent electrical stuff over there. So, hey, maybe I'll trust more of the Australians making their electrical stuff. So, because the other dimmer I bought was it was like a Leviton, but damn, that thing was expensive. But I wanted wall control, and I needed, everything seems to be on dimmers stops at 150 watt LED, And and I think I found an open box for like $41. So, but it's a pretty slick little dimmer. It's all Zigbee stuff. So I've gotten a pretty decent little. I know y'all. Some others have some big, massive maps. I've got a decent little map going on. So, yeah. Caleb always trolling me. That's what it is. No, Caleb's actually pretty cool guy. He actually sent me some, which if I can eventually get to it, work has been burning my yeah off. I guess I said ass earlier, so um, they've been burning me up. I hadn't been too busy, and damn, look, there's dead end finally. There you go. So I know that everybody's got some bigger Zigbee meshes than I do. So, but I think I've got a few paths. I do have like I had an extra little USB stick, and I stuck it in a little USB like 6 plug thing, and then I had the Sonoff the dongle one. I don't think Teddy's here, so I won't get in trouble. The little Zigbee dongle, and then I had the Sonoff bridge, and so I put those in as really probably don't need them now, but they're I guess there's something is hanging off of it. Yeah, so there's another motion sensor. So, but I think I've got enough Zigbee stuff to handle all the things. And this one actually does help me it's probably better to get some sensors in the yard. So, but yeah. Is that air traffic control? So I need to even add more devices. So I know you probably just, I'm not here to like try to sell you a bunch of stuff. I like to just show the cool, cheap stuff. If you're looking for, and I know they're pretty boring devices, except when they work. The Linkine, is it Linkine? Or is it, how does he say it? LinkedIn? Do they still not have the 4-packs? Wait, there it is. They used to have a sale for them. Okay, there it is. There it is. I was actually kind of impressed with the Linkine water leak sensors. And I know they're boring except when they work and save your ass from having a bunch of leaks. Actually, I'll show you that one. Actually, it's pretty impressive. I have one on the desk. So just for relations, you can see beside my big head, but I'll show you on the actual camera, on the actual better camera. But they're what, 54 minus the 10, so you're looking at 44. So you're looking like at before tax $11 a sensor, and they do work with Zigbee to MQTT. I know they have. Teddy did this stuff for the alarm on them, and nope, not that one. Where's it at? Yeah. Where's it at? Oh, here it is, exposes. So if you can actually change the alert behavior. So you can actually do it to just do nothing, or you can do the LED or the siren. It does have a siren on board with them. So, and I like how you can change that. And then I think the way you change it, and it changes next time it checks in. So, but I was actually impressed with the, let me grab this. To better see the sensor is, it has, and the big thing I liked about it was the 2 AAAs in it. And this is the back cover. And it uses little Phillips screws, and I think once you put it on, I think it goes one way, there it is. And it has the 4, so it sits down like, like this, and it has the 4 contacts to pick up the water, and then the little rubber button on the bottom, that's for your pairing. And they've got the I think the LED is behind the branding, of course, and then the siren right there. So, and once you add the AAA batteries to it, and I know I just talked about the batteries. I like sensors that have the trip. I know it makes them bigger, but with water leak sensors, I don't mind them being bigger. And plus it makes it a little heavier with these larger batteries. But then I can throw rechargeables if I want in it or whatever, and it's easy to get AAAs instead of those funky different battery types. I kind of prefer that. So. Three-second. Let's see what I'm missing. Um, yeah, and I know like they're boring sensors, but whenever you have a leak for some reason and you don't know it, I've stuck them in a couple of ones I've had some minor issues with before, and I was like, damn, I didn't know that sink was leaking down there, and it rot in the bottom of the cabinet, and I didn't know it. And it was just one of those slow leaks, and if I'd have had a sensor in there, I would have known it. Um, yeah, like you say, and that's one of the things I do like about I do like about they have the beeper on them as well, because then even if your home automation is down or notifications aren't working or whatever, then you still can get those alerts. So look at you, knowing the new Aquaria is coming out with a new motion sensor. I cannot confirm or deny that. No comment. Contact me. The channel name at Gmail. Easiest way. What flavor shake is that? It's no comment. Root beer flavor. Okay. Yeah, and they did have for a while the and I'll pull it. Let me pull it up once I go through my orders. I don't want y'all seeing all my dresses and everything I order. Like, just to show you in comparison, I know a lot of people did like the Smart Things one, and then AOTech. I'm gonna screw that name up as well. Someone will correct me again. I did buy one, but they were like $30. Well, $30 or something, or maybe a little cheaper. How much were they? Oh, they were 36. Okay. So now I do like that these have the top, they have the pull on the top, and they had the pins on the bottom as well. But again, they had that funky little, I think it's CR123A battery. There's no speaker on it, and then look at the price. That's crazy. So Joseph, that's an excellent idea. I know that in my air conditioner, my main air conditioner, that I have that secondary pan, and it should be dry. And someone else said, hey, like, instead of finding out, because I live in Louisiana, and I got my AC running right now in this room, and if finding out later that pan, because maybe you get a clogged drain line, and that starts to clog up during the day. I go for work or whatever, and my wife's calling me, the air conditioner doesn't work. And I'm like, oh crap, what the hell's wrong with it? You're instantly thinking thousands of dollar repair bill. And if I just knew that there was water in that pan, that would just be amazing. So just to throw that in there. The only thing, I would have to probably put it on top of a sponge or something, because my pan is just straight bare aluminum. I think that would probably trigger those pins if it would touch them, I think. So yeah, I have to have, that's the best investment. It was expensive. Best investment I did was do my mini split in this room, and that way the wife can have it her warm temperature she wants, and then I can have it 70 degrees. So, um, yeah, I mean, hell, you can get those the Linkind ones are $11. That's nuts. So, uh, $11 a piece. They're I think are 16 minus the 3. So if you just want to get one. So, what's up, Nick? Linkind. Yeah, sorry about the Canadian stuff. So look, so I got see some Texas people represent, right? Oh, that's a very good idea. Sour is putting the paper towel deal, because definitely you make sure those sensors do get water. So, um, yeah, it got up to I guess it was it's one of those typical days. You wear a jacket in the morning at work, and then but still a nice ride with the windows down the way into work, and then when you go home, you probably got the AC on. So. Speaking of Canada, is there? He's been in my Discord, and is I don't know if you've probably heard of him, Virage Labs. I believe he is in Canada, and he has a lot of pre-flashed stuff. Um, yeah, I don't know if I can play this song. I'd probably get some sort of copyright, right? Um, and I know some people were looking for I want to say the name because I'm reading it. I know some people were looking for the older version of the Sonoff bridge, the RF bridge, and he actually has the older model that has where you can flash the Portish RF firmware if you want. It's not that newer chip one that IT has been selling, and so he's selling a bunch of pre-flash stuff. Now he did send me, and I know he's probably gonna watch this later and probably hate on me. He did send me like a bunch of instructions and stuff on how to. He's done some special firmware on them, and I have a couple of his things. Some over there. I'll get it later. Um, and he's done like some add-ons, a bunch of different programming and stuff. Now, me, I prefer just to do just straight up MQTT, and just it is like I think it's forked of a version of Tasmota from what I saw and what he sent me. Um, I was just trying to see, yeah. So it for me, if I was buying them, I know he kind of did it more for the noobs because he's really just add to your network and it just boom, it finds it in Home Assistant without having to link in all your MQTT and everything. And it still uses MQTT, I believe, but you can just load Tasmota on it. And that's probably what I would do if I was buying this stuff. But it is pretty cool to see that someone is doing some more pre-flash stuff. And trying to see if he had listed the firmware and stuff on here right quick. Is it under software? Yeah. So okay. So he's got it on his GitHub page. Yeah. So he does a really good job at. I find it probably a little pricey because of United States buying from Canada. I don't know how it really compares. I mean, Zappy or something. Don't hate me on your name. I thought you use Zippy or something. You screwing with me. That's what it is. Don't you use see you use Zippy on freaking Discord and you use Zappy on here. That's how I'm screwing up your name. Um so it looks like he's got a bunch of different things. I'm trying to see if I can find. Yeah, so they're all based on Tasmota. We'll probably fire one of the plugs up if you want and see how it does. I don't have. I'm not gonna probably do any of the add-on stuff and everything because I'm not running HOAS, and I don't know if he does containers on them and everything. But it was pretty cool that he did everything with the bridge, and it seemed like he's got pretty good documentation for things. Yeah, manually add the repository, copy the following URL. It looks like it adds in automatically after you do that. And I know he's got this Avaya or I forget how you pronounce it that he wrote supposedly. So I don't know. I would just probably put it on my network and do the MQTT stuff. And I think I did see he linked all the pinouts and everything, which is cool. Right on his website, straight from the source, you can get all the pinouts and everything. The Goovy Aquaria leak sensors. Hadn't seen that one. I used the Goovy temperature sensor, and we'll try to see if we can get to that. Avahi. Okay. You know, we pronounce. Now I'm gonna start just dropping names of stuff from Louisiana, and y'all see how to pronounce it. Okay. Y'all could just we can have a very slow, boring game of how you spell something. Let's see. Let's see if y'all know how to spell this. I mean, how to say it. Let's see, how would you say that? It's not fair because y'all can't talk back. So, the Atchafalaya Basin. Watch these live streams unless you have cash. Travis always tempted to buy stuff. Well, hey, if we want to just start buying stuff, we can start breaking out like $800 vacuums. You know, I get better percentages on those, right? So, no, I'm trying to find the cheap crap. That's what I'm looking for. A cheap crap that just works. Yeah, that one's a Atchafalaya. What's the other? There's another one. This one. They're gonna tell y'all how to say it. Yeah. So this one's always a fun one to go read how to do that one. So the pick of your table covered. Um, yeah. So that one's chop. That one's I say it Chapatulas. So. Let's see. I will say do they even make it anymore? The Robo Rock S5, I think it is. We bought that several years ago. I don't have the Max. Yeah, it looks like this one. This just she bought the rose gold one or something. Yeah, I don't think they make it anymore. Um, but the repairability of that thing is stupid nuts. There's a bunch of screws to it, but damn, you can take it apart and everything is modular from the wheel motors to the boards to the vacuum motor to all the brushes, the pieces. Now it takes a bunch of parts to come apart, but damn, the repairability is freaking nuts. I'm assuming there are other ones are the same way, but damn, like I was impressed with like. Now I had to tear it all the way down to change out the vacuum motor tore up in it, and we've had it for several years. And that thing just I found got a motor for $30 and replaced it. So I did finally have the battery die on me, but that's kind of typical with the lithium ion. I mean, how much it gets used. So I think that was $30 as well, or $40, and it was fine. So there's the Doctor Node MCU popper, and NYX just asked for ESP32s. I find that High Let Go, I know they're all rebrands. High Let Go has some decent stuff for the most part. Um, and if you can find I prefer if you can in a project the ESP32 like, I don't know if this is high let go. Look, I've purchased these before. Um, is if you can find one that has the CP2102 and it has that AMS 1117 on it. They're pretty much all going to be the same. Now, the ESP32s do have a bunch of different pinouts. And yeah. Now, if you can, if you're trying to do like the blurry stuff and everything, I will say I've been kind of leaning towards doing the ESP32 C3s. And they get kind of expensive on Amazon. Yeah, see how much, especially now. Now that was not bad. They're doing $10, but Jacob Parts. Just go to Jacob Parts for the U.S. folks. And I don't have any affiliation with Jacob Parts except he just does a really good job. Like he's answered me in email and stuff like that. I'm assuming that's him. And I know a lot of you are in this area, but he's actually has a brick and mortar store in Indianapolis. And he does sell stuff on Amazon, and he does sell stuff on eBay. But I'm guessing it's probably cheaper if you went direct to his website. Kind of do your shopping on that. But so. Yeah, Mark, if you can find, I've always heard that Quinlet, if you, and that's what I was getting at. If you have a project that you are doing for, like say a Node, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna get a Node MCU. Just remember the Node MCU stuff, even the ESP32s, they have just, the power supplies generally suck on them, except for two of them, the Quinlet ones and, what's the other one? I think I have one. What's his name? Twilight Lord. I don't know if he's out of stock still. He's out of stock, but he actually built these with a proper power supply on them, and they have USB-C as well. So, which link you want looking for, Mark? The Twilight Lord. So actually, I believe the Solo 1 boards are supported by ESP Home. Newt, if you look, okay, you linked the Quinlet boards. Okay, I'll grab that one. Yeah, y'all gonna if y'all throw something in Discord. I had the Discord notifications not blaring at me, so yeah. The Linkine, what was it like? Forever Z. I forgot what his name was. I'll see it when I come in here. I think I posted his Zero Ping, not Forever Zero. Zero Ping has a whole. Where is it at? I linked it in here. Yeah. So Zero Ping, I'll send you the link too. If you're looking for ESP Home on the Solo, Zero Ping did the Linkine switch for. It looks like you had to do these special configurations for saying it's Unicore and stuff, but it looks, I know he did lay out everything with the Linkine switch that has that Solo. So I'm sure you can take this and adapt it and do your thing. It wouldn't connect. I haven't tried it just yet. I'll give it a shot. I mean, I believe he's using it. So, oh wow, I haven't heard the word trig board in a while. And I did like a video on his very first like trig board thing. It was pretty cool, little sensor. But it was all like custom code and stuff then. Yeah, so I'll have to give that a shot with the. I don't know if we have time to do all that. Um, I'm trying to see what else I need to roll through. Oh, so here's a for any of you gurus out there, a call for help, and I come bringing money. If I'm trying to put together, and I just haven't had the time to focus on it, but I really like I spun this up locally on a little container and everything, the Dockosaurus, and I know the docks are used also the same ones by Frigate, I believe it is. If anyone can help me set this up and everything, I would like to move a lot of my stuff to this and my notes and because I'm always like we're trying to link stuff in Discord and then I'm like, oh wait, I got that at home. I need to link that. It'd be great if I can put some of this in like a wiki and everything. And I don't mind paying somebody for their time. If there's a way that you could help me and fast track me from do where we set up a GitHub and we can do the documentation and push it and do all the things without having the workflows and all that good stuff. Um, yeah, so maybe one weekend I can bother somebody and I'll pay for your time. Maybe I can pay you in smart switches or something. No, I'll actually pay you in funds. So so definitely you hit me up, and if you know how to do this whole Dockosaurus thing, and maybe I'll find. I know there's a couple different hosts, and they weren't too bad to do it because it's just like a static site. So, but it'd be great for being able to put on like, hey, how do I back up in ESP32? You know, of like how do I flash it with the full factory bin? And I just want to go throw some copy and paste stuff and have some easy stuff on the side and everything. Just it'd be great for linking stuff in like Discord and whatnot. So why is there no DigiBlur store? Um, Too many issues with taxes, I guess. Probably not enough time. So okay, so Moogle, true. Like you say, you're trying to get me with your name. Um, I'll have to hit you up, and we'll go through and get some. I think it'd be great for the community and to add and stuff, and just make it quickly to go grab stuff. So Moogle Troop. How you? Come on, look, Jim. Where you at, Jim? Tell me how to pronounce it. Hurry before I screw myself. So. Only an issue report to the man. Yeah, we can just kind of get by on some of those things. I did. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag too much, but I don't want to. I don't want to speak for them. Not these people or here, whatever it is. I have been talking with Martin Jerry, and I know you're Martin Jerry switches and the dimmers and everything, and there's the whole issue is they're getting switched. They're being forced to switch to the was it W3? Is it W3BS or something? W3BS? No. What is the damn thing? It's T. I know it's TY3. Is it WB? 3B3, which one is it? WB3L? W3S, that's what it is. And then they got the R3, there's the 3S. Too many damn letters and not enough drink. And I know if you don't know the backstory on that, they're forcing everybody to switch to that chip. Now, I say that's probably twofold. It's probably due to the people flashing them. Now, you got to think in the grand scheme of things, what percentage of people were flashing the ESP chips versus what was getting sold on like Amazon and everything. Probably a small percentage. So I don't think the mass change was mainly due to us. Probably due more to supply and them being able to control their supply, not having to go through expressive, and probably end up being cheaper, combined with those chips had Bluetooth, and the Bluetooth pairing just, after talking with one vendor, just makes a massive difference in support because a lot of people have phones on 5 gigahertz, and then they have their routers where they're 2.4 and 5 gigahertz on the same SSID, and they have issues with the pairing because their phone's on 5 gigahertz and the device is trying to go to 2.4 and it won't pair. Well, the Bluetooth fixes all that, and just boom, it just pairs right up, and it just automatically pretty much adds to the app now. So, but the problem is we want to do their pre-flash stuff, and well, finally, after me nagging and nagging, finally, I know I've nagged Martin Jerry enough. Bless them. They actually did, remember, they did the pinouts for us and those DIY documents on how to flash them with Tasmodo, which I think was awesome. I just bumped the mic. Let's see. No, I don't want to chat with anybody. Yeah. So I still think this is freaking amazing that you can go to Martin Jerry's website and they got a freaking Tasmodo button, and you click it and it pulls up a PDF of how to flash with the pinouts and everything with Tasmatizer straight on freaking Martin Jerry's website. I think it's awesome. So I have been talking with them more and trying to get them to do some pre-flash stuff. So but they're supposed to be doing, I did some firmware, initial firmware, showing them how to build their own firmware with the Module 0 template setup. And they wanted to do a firmware with all their devices in one. I was like, don't do that. That would be bad because people are going to upgrade it and they'll change modules. So they're finally understand that, and they're going to do a firmware for just each device. But there will be pretty cool. You'll be able to buy some pre-flashed Tasmodo switches and stuff from Martin Jerry. Now, I don't know the legality of that maybe they have to rebrand them as something else, because, I don't know Tuya's lawyers. So, yeah. I've always seen that cool on Mo's where it says Zigbee to MQTT. So I'm assuming what they're going to do is just, because they're just going to have their regular line, their regular line, their PCBs has this, the module, and they're just switching the module out for doing the actual ones in the cloud. Now, I don't know if they're going to sell them on Amazon. I don't know all of that. At one time, I was trying to buy a bunch of switches and stuff to try to save the world of pre-flashed stuff, but then after I did the calculations of me shipping them out and the taxes and then the duties and the whole 9 yards, it was nuts. So maybe we'll work something out different. I haven't seen too much on the Matter now. I don't know if it really matters just yet, but I think it's more marketing right now on the whole Matter thing. I haven't seen. I'm kind of curious to see how that would evolve. The OTA hack. Duty. Yep. What was that movie? Not the Call of Duty, but they call it the kids cartoon. It was pretty good with the arcade games. That was pretty funny. Good show. I lost what I'm going on. What's a Tasmodo? What else we got in the store for things? OTA hack. Oh, they linked it in the past. Where'd they link it at? I knew they were waiting for that 45 days. And I also heard that another person was saying that they were forcing new firmware updates, silent firmware updates on some of the newer chips. So I don't know. I looked at the project, but it just seemed he put the code up there. If somebody has the link for it, you can drop it in Discord or here. I don't know. It just didn't have a whole lot of information. It was like linking back to a bunch of forums, and I haven't looked too much into it because I guess I was probably waiting for the 45 days thing. Was told by Jennifer Ford closely with Tuya that prominent with security and firmware. Yeah, I could, it's a kind of the whole Tuya convert thing. I think was bad for them. Is kind of egg on their face that, hey, because it's really just some nerdy tech writer out there wanting to make a name for himself and just going, oh my God, there's this big security exploit with Tuya devices and everything's gonna take over and everything. And when you actually had to put it in pairing mode, hell, we had problems putting Tuya convert a damn thing. You actually put it in pairing mode and physical control of it. I just don't see. So yeah, they had the OpenBeken versus, and see, I was kind of not following the OpenBeken. I wanted to see what the OTA hack was gonna be, and maybe that would kind of merge. So I'm kind of waiting to see what that does. Do I think it's gonna be something crazy like Tasmota or anything? I mean, no, because just Tasmota's had how many years of development? You just can't do that overnight. But it's pretty cool how far they've gotten. Was it OpenBeken? I don't have. It's not coming up to enough people. Yeah, that was the. I did see that on. They had to have the physical dump per device, and I think firmware version. And so they were talking about like, hey, take and dump them through their tool, and then you actually had to, they submit it to them to do the OTA hack, but they didn't release the OTA hack yet. And I'm drawing a blank for. Let's just search for Beken. Is it OpenBeken? If one of y'all find it. Oh, they announced. See, I haven't. Have they actually released it yet? I'm not finding it. Let's see, Beken. Y'all posted the link somewhere in here, but I can't find who. I forgot who posted some stuff on it. Yeah. That was fun. The days of Tuya convert. That was just awesome. It was just, if you don't know exactly, all you had to do for the most part was go on Amazon, search for whatever Wi-Fi smart device, and you would go scroll down and look, do I see the Tuya app? If you saw the Tuya app, then you just bought it and it worked. Let's see. Is the GoSun W? No, actually, somebody posted links to. Was it? They posted updated links for it, and this one. Let's see if it's available before I share it with you. Yeah. So this is that GoSun got kicked off of Amazon. I'm gonna say got kicked off the internet. That's Russia. They got kicked off of Amazon, and they came back, rebranded stuff as G-Home. At least I can pronounce that. And so yeah, so that one works. And they even said Tuya convert works, but if it doesn't, look, you unscrew it, and there's RxTX and there's GPIO 0, and I have personally flashed one of these. Someone bricked it by putting minimal on it. I wouldn't say brick it. I hate that term for it because they just down converted it. They just removed some features like the AP mode, and so I reflashed it with full version of TAS mode, just using the little clips. Um, yeah, so they got kicked off. Probably I don't most of the ones they have on there is hey, come review this and then we'll PayPal you something. And yeah, CloudCutter, that's what it is, Tony. Um, we'll go through and we'll pay you for a review and everything. Well, that's against the terms of Amazon. And I do get emails every once in a while from some little small vendors, and they want to like, hey, could you buy this and you review it on your channel and we'll send you the PayPal. I'm like, nope, not doing it, not getting involved. If you do that, I don't do your thing and not getting me involved. Wow, OCE, it actually said I had to show your comment of the hard bricks. That the spam filters are real. So, um, so no, if you want one of those smart outlets, it's right here. How to flash it. DM those to us. Some outdoor. So Cough is in my Discord every once in a while. If you can go find him or tag him, I don't know if he's still there. CloudCutter will contain the write-up. Yeah, those Nova Stella stuff were awesome. And I was very sad that 100-watt color panel didn't work on 120 volts. There's a Zigbee one that you can get off AliExpress that claims it's 100. It works on dual voltages. It does not. I know that for a fact. Yeah. Yeah, I have no idea how Treat Life is still on Amazon. I think they have some blackmail photos on Bezos or something. I have no idea how. So they're still waiting on the disclosure period of 45 days. So it looks like they have done some stuff. Support verification to be in. Okay. So it looks like LSC, isn't that over? These guys must be overseas. I know I see all the LSC. I think that's. Yeah, so I'll post a link for it here. It's nothing just yet. Hadn't released much on it, so it's just it's a repository, a bunch of pictures right now. That's all it is. It's just device pictures, so don't get too crazy on it. The OpenBeken firmware. Thanks, Tony, for saving me while I scrambled around for my links. He did a bunch of stuff for a write-up and cause the goal is to provide Tasmota-like system for the BK chips, which that's those W3BS ones. Yeah, WB2S, WB3S, etc. He's got I have not done this myself. He's got a bunch of pictures and stuff on how to do things, and you can looks like he's got the pins you can pick out. I think it doesn't do auto discovery just yet. Yeah. So he forked the Tuya SDK. Yeah, the OpenBeken stuff, just like Tony says. Listen to Tony. Tony knows his shit. He's been reading this. It's real. I just haven't done it myself. So, yeah, it's pretty real. I know at first the thread was like all in Polish or something like that. So it, it and I was glad to see they went over to GitHub. I just haven't seen a whole lot of stuff with it. Yeah, maybe they need to know how to do auto discovery. Like you have enough, Tony. You have nothing else to do, right? Um, so pretty cool little stuff on that. Are looking forward to. I'm gonna go. Look, I actually have this one already watched. Is CloudCutter, so I'm kind of curious to see if anything else, what else happens with it. So pretty cool stuff. I know not everybody can do all of the chip swaps and everything. I know it's kind of difficult for some, which is totally fine. I totally get it. But that's awesome. Like why we can have, you've got Cough, you got Atom, you got Cloud Free Shop, Cloud Free Shop. He is in, is he in Indiana? And I'll get a correction here and once y'all catch up. So he ships out stuff, pre-flash. Cough is in the United States as well. He does stuff on Amazon. Actually, I have the Cloud Free and Cough's bulbs in the BR. Now, Cough does BR30 and he does the regular bulbs as well. So. Yeah. And you bring up a good point, Sour. I mean, it's a lot of hoops, but like you can buy stuff off of freaking Cloud Free or Cough and take it out the box and boom, you know it's on Tasmota and or ESP Home, whatever you want. So and not to be biased, but hey, a lot of Cough has been on my Discord. The guy from Virage Labs, he's on my Discord. I know he doesn't want to promote and sound like a commercial too much, and I don't have any problem with that. I totally get that, but it's hey, there's not a lot of options for the Canadian people, but hey, you can go buy stuff from Virage Labs, and I'll leave try to link all the links down in the description and stuff. But pretty awesome. I mean, you got to think about a couple years ago. We didn't really have any options for pre-flash stuff. And then Zigbee wasn't all that great at the time for like Home Assistant stuff. And now it's crazy. So, yes, we need that PTVO guy. Yes. He's pretty cool stuff. Yeah. If there's I'll ask again, any good JavaScript programmers? We need you. Hell, we need to set up a bounty, people. Of where is it at? The plugins of the device. If I can find it, they have They have it here for the custom user plugins. Where's it at? Maybe I'll have Tony bail me out again. Yeah, I can never find it when I freaking need it. Maybe I'll just do a search, right? That's a whole search. Is it user? User extensions is what it's called. It's my opinion that I think that if we could do a user extension to tie like a group of bulbs to listen to the UDP packets of Tasmota device groups, it would like totally seamless that where you could do without any rules, set up a user extension, and that way I could do a light switch, Tasmota light switch with device groups and then mix in some Zigbee bulbs. That would be pretty freaking awesome. And I know Tony is going through and try to the reversed engineer, not reversed. I guess because the C code is out there in Tasmota of actually the packets, and PCDM is actually in the Discord as well for the mastermind behind Tasmota device groups. We just need to merge it, and I don't do JS stuff, so. But I think it would be best. I know we've talked about trying to have like a separate container or program, but I think it'd probably be best. It would be like a user extension, and ultimate goal would be awesome. Would just be a freaking drop down in Zigbee to MQTT, but I don't think we'll probably get there. So. The reason why I just say JS because I think the user extensions they're all done in JavaScript on how to do your own little custom plugin with Zigbee to MQTT. I mean, technically you could do it with MQTT to push over to Zigbee to MQTT. Yeah, and I think that I would have no problem running it that way. Moogle is to have a container listen for the Tasmodo device groups, a way to assign, hey, do we want that device group in Zigbee to MQTT? Do we want it, to listen to it all? Or do we want to just, the dev group share stuff? And then we could pass that information. Just would really make it really simple for doing exactly, because there's still, there's different bulbs that, you look at some of the bulbs that are on, there's some bulbs out there that are just, you can't really get in Wi-Fi, or really pre-flash because they're, you've got different filament bulbs and stuff, like these, like these filament bulbs. It's probably hard to find that, and, you're not going to get that in a pre-flashed one. And there are some just pretty great Zigbee bulbs just due to, like, for instance, these filament, was it the E12s, I think it is. And it's pretty awesome to be able to just have a light switch. And I like that best of both worlds where I have a light switch on the wall. I don't have to teach anybody no special thing or tape no light switches. And then I can still have color temperature bulbs in the house. So... yeah, I did cover that, Sour, on, I did cover that on how you could do some rules, say like I think from a dimmer, and how to mix in the Zigbee stuff. But I'm looking for something like a little simpler with UDP. Because, something go direct. That's why I did cover that. It does work. Actually, I have a 4-button switch on the wall over here that actually just sends over an MQTT message to a light bulb. So that's pretty simple. But we're just talking something where it's kind of all automatic without any rules. So, yeah. What's up, Steve? Let's see if I'm catching up on. Oh, so Kenny's here, or Kenny's in the chat? Oh, look, there's Kenny. Check you out, Kenny. So look, we're talking about your cloud-free stuff and everything. So y'all don't harass them too much. I'm trying to read back through some of the chat here. And Call feels like cheat. He's like feels like cheating after all the work I put. Yeah, it. And I know I've said it many times before. It is kind of just. Sometimes I do like to do that. That whole accomplishment of flashing things and everything. But it is kind of cool. Sometimes you just take Zigbee out of the Zigbee or a pre-flash device, take it out of the box, add it to the network, and go. It's pretty. Sometimes it's just a breath of fresh air when you get to do that. So. But. Let's see. I don't know if I want to. I want to get y'all. I want to get your viewpoint on this. So this company did contact me, and I didn't do a whole lot of research. They hit me up on Instagram of all weird places. I don't check my Instagram that often. And they wanted to send me an LED controller. I'm like, sure, we'll check it out. And it's got USB-C. It's powered straight off of USB-C, so it's just 5-volt stuff. It's not going to do like a bunch of lights. But then after a little bit of digging, they they took this guy's board, the Pixel Blaze, changed the USB port on it, and then reselling it. Now, I don't know if they didn't. It's got much different firmware on it. I will tell you that. It looks like a watered down version of was it Fast LED or Neo pick behind WLED. It's a very weird design behind it. Yeah, it's just using regular USB-C, so there's not many amps behind the thing. I think they say and I think it was the shipping was fairly cheap. It was like $3 or something. So it's $30 for a board. Now I know I don't know if Want More is in here. His LEDs board are probably be a little cheaper than this and a little more. You can do more with it. I did fire it up and I didn't put WLED on it, but so how about look OCE? I'll just call it LED. Okay, I'll just call it LED. And we won't like that's a new term for it, not WLED, not WLED. We'll call it LED. There we go, new word. The way you got to say it. So I don't know what the guy he did. Where's it at? Pixel Blaze. Does he have it on his GitHub or something? I found it on his GitHub. I just don't know. It almost sounds kind of like another language, LED. So we gotta say it fast. He said it's open source and he has all the hardware, I guess he wanted other people to just go ahead and make the Count Chocula. He wanted everybody to be able to make their own, and I guess one company did. I don't know how I feel about that, but I don't know. Y'all be the judge of. I don't know. It just felt weird to me when I found that they just took someone else's board, changed the plug on it, and called it a day, and then they're selling it. It just seems weird to me. I guess it's not against the things. So, what else we got going on? Have y'all seen the new Pixel Blade versus W? That I don't get. I don't get the whole thing on why would I want to run a Pixel controller that only can do so many LEDs off. Maybe it's just off a USB-C, but I probably would rather do it off a little board that runs back and do 12 volt lights as well. It's very weird design for me. So, yeah. I don't think it's PD. I think it's just straight USB 5 volts. And I just had the schematics up. Where's it at? I don't remember where I had the schematics. I don't know. Yeah, I want to say it just goes into that AMS 1117 right there and drops the 3.3 down, the 5 volts 3.3, and I want to say it's just passed in there. So, yeah, it's not a very, let's see, I can search it again. Pixel Blaze. Let's see. I'm sure. I thought he had it on the GitHub or something. Pixel Blaze. GitHub. Yeah, he had the whole layout here. If I can zoom it. I was trying to. We'll open it in PDF. Enhance. This actually enhances. Yeah. I just see it go to the 3.3 volt regulator. And it does go through a level shifter. Yeah, I didn't really get it in the whole. I guess maybe if they would have done a case as well, I could see it more going towards somebody. And if they did like an ecosystem of just like pluggable strips with like a case or something, and then like a U, I could see kind of that, um, where you can do kind of you can hit both people, like someone that wants to do WLED or LED, and then just their little firmware. Their little firmware was weird, so but they wanted me to check it out and everything. So here we're checking it out. It does come with the little screw on things, but yeah, weird stuff. Oh, speaking of LED controllers, Electro Dragon. Is it Adamo? I know he had talked with this vendor, and I think he sent my little clip of me putting an ESP32C3 on it. I can show you the firmware, Tony. It's rather boring. Um, you just pick your LED and the number of LEDs, and then you get the same list of all those the ones like you see in WLED with all like the Android ones and the fire and the river and all the police one, the railroad, all the different little things, and that's all it is. Um, Electro Dragon, check this out. And if you can't see it, let's see if we can zoom it. ESP32C3. Pretty awesome that he did get them to make this board, which at Adamo, I think it was Adam O in Discord. He talked with them and sent my little clip of putting an ESP32C3 on it. It is only a 4-channel, but it's pretty cool little board and it has the ESP32. It does, and look, it does come with a case. They know how to do it. So you can perfect for like little analog strips and stuff. Like I think you can do digital stuff if you do the little jumper as well. So the problem was on the ESP8266, it had whine to it, not the kind of wine you want to drink, but it just really made a high pitched noise. And the ESP32 being hardware PWM, you can it's a lot better. So it's pretty cool that they listened to the customers and now they're making some options for us with ESP32 chips on them. So, and again, no affiliation with them or nothing. I'm glad that they listened to the people out there. I have a couple of those. They actually do work good. Imairu. But hey, look, at least they do have the damn case though. Emporia Energy. Yes, I actually do have. I'm not going to send you a picture of my spaghetti mess of a breaker box. Yeah, so Quinlad. Yeah, I haven't really checked out too much of Quinlad's stuff, but I know he does a really good stuff with it. So, if you can get the stock of it, I know Dr. Z sells a bunch of his stuff. So yeah, Emporia, I am using it. I actually have the Emporia and the circuit set up both, and I have everything in there, and so it does work. I haven't had any issues with it, and you can see when I turned on my mini split, and it does work fine. I don't have all of my circuits in here. Is the flashing any better? It's probably the same. I will say some people I know I had a couple reports saying on the HA Blue the ESP Home won't let you build this firmware. It says it's not supported. No, I haven't had any issues with it rebooting or anything. Yeah, so and there half like I say, I mentioned there Hefnail did send me this Emporia, but it works pretty well. You can see. I'm guessing this is the whole fun. I'm guessing this was probably the heater running overnight, and then of course you got to run the AC in the evening. That's the way it goes. So, um, yeah, just those little pins on them just kind of suck for trying to flash, but it's um, yeah, but once you flash it that one time, that's it. You'll OTA to it after that. Now, one thing I did like, it does have that external antenna, and I did push it out into one of the knockouts in my panel. And so actually you can't see it because it's behind the sheetrock, but that antenna on it is just in the wall. And I get like 99% freaking Wi-Fi signal showing on Unify. So, but yeah, once you flash it once, that's it. Just go install it and do your thing, and then you OTA to it. So the elevator's hooked up to Emporia. uh, Actually, my antenna it's actually in the bottom. It's pointing down, and it's going through a couple walls and hitting an access point, and it works fine. So, yeah. And I threw in some other circuits on it. Yeah, I think this one probably will have the air fryer on it. Yeah, you can see the air fryer was cycling. So this one was 1600 watts. I did hide the other ones. Let's see, washer and dryer. I'm probably not going to get anything on washer. Yeah. See, it is kind of a noisy device on low loads, but there's nothing really out there on those. But I know this one has a camera. Yeah, so I bet you when the camera came on, it jumped up with the IR. Yeah, so it's it jumps a couple watts when you have a load on it, but for the most part, it's pretty decent. And the price on it, I know, I don't know if he has any in stock still, but if I could spell it right. How does your energy panel look? Oh, I haven't brought those into, this is what we're talking about, the Emporia. I did the video few weeks ago on this guy, and how you put ESP Home on it. And they did one thing, it did change on it. Let me show you one. Let's see. This is the Emporia. I didn't bring it. I still have my circuit setup stuff in my energy panel. One thing that did change on ESP Home, all the updates. No thanks. Is now you do label, which I did mention in the video. I didn't see how they did that, but now they've changed the documentation and the code, and you actually do put which phase, A or B, of. I'm assuming they do phase C if you're going to have a 3-phase installation, for all the different circuits, which way they go. So I thought that was kind of cool for the correct voltage reference. My energy panel, I don't think it's I haven't looked at it in a while. Is it still working? Yeah, it's still working. Yeah, and you still see I have my mini split set for my solar. No, so I do not have any solar, especially at 8 p.m. So. Yeah, that's just that. This is using the circuit setup stuff. I haven't done the Emporia one in this one because honestly, I don't use the energy panel that often. Swap breakers. The 60-watt light bulb usage. There's in the installation, there's a K and an L, and they tell you to put the arrow facing the load. And so if it's not registering, just change the phase in the configuration, and it will use the different one. So yeah, you don't have to flip it back around. It'll just do it based off it uses the different voltage reference. So that's pretty slick the way that is. So if you do have it backwards and you don't want to change it, you can just change it to use the other voltage reference. For the most part in the US, unless you have a screwed up transformer, your voltages should be fairly close on both of the split phases. But I was kind of nitpicky, and I did make sure the labels were the correct way. So, what templates using to get kilowatt hours? That's actually just based off of the wattage. It's just in ESP Home's doing it. It does it off the time and then the wattage to figure out the kilowatt hours. So yeah, it's just a code that this was off of the code that was for the circuit setup stuff, and then the one that was in for the Emporia. It's not. I didn't do anything special. This is all it is, I believe. It just takes and multiplies it, and it does that by the time for the kilowatt hours. I think it's more of that magic of ESP Home, I guess. And that's probably the only things power monitoring I have in on ESP Home. So, yeah. I think what I think up to that 18 channels. I think in the ESP32, you're running out of memory. All right, Flying Moose, take it easy. Go fly some more jets or planes or whatever or drive, I guess, right? Get up with the boy at 4:30. Bass Sense. Yeah, and that I could see that. Bass Sense is just a motion sensor temperature. It's a motion sensor, an AM312 and a BME280, and a 1 NeoPixel. And I have those in both of my bathrooms for automated lighting, and then the humidity, not necessarily temperature, but humidity, and to run that fan automatically. Yeah. Still haven't found a company to come drop some solar panels off in the front yard yet, so. No, definitely not off topic. We were talking about Zigbee stuff. Do you have any issues with Zigbee? I don't have any issues with Zigbee stuff. The perfect combination in TDR set me up. Like, he told me, like, just get a CC2652, go do Zigbee to MQTT, and trust me, you won't have issues. You won't have to deal with stuff. And it's absolutely true. I've been doing that probably January of 2021, so over a year or more, and it just freaking works. It just freaking works. Yeah, and actually a color temperature bulb in your bathroom works well. So when you set that time, when it's between midnight and 6:30 a.m. and you walk in the bathroom and you're just drunken stumbling through the thing, and I have the bulb set for 5% warm, and it's awesome. So, but if you're looking for Joseph, I don't know if I know he's had him out here. Let's see. I'm I'm looking. Where's he at? I know we've posted it somewhere. Well, I'll find it. Move my drink out the way. If you're in the U.S., I'm hoping he still has some stock in there. Let's see if he still does, and they're cheaper because if you go on Amazon, you're gonna pay more. So there's that whole saving money thing again. Go dig around. Look, if you can find, I don't care what coordinator you can find or whatever, and also we'll talk about his tubes. He does have some cool stuff as well. It's cool and stuff. Look for those numbers, CC2652. Whatever flavor you get or vendor or whatever it may be, make sure it is CC2652. And it works with ZHA. And it also works. So if you don't want to do the whole Zigbee to MQTT thing, I fully understand that. You can just do it straight in Home Assistant. But if you want to do Zigbee to MQTT as well, it works great with Zigbee to MQTT as well. So definitely update the firmware on it. I did a video back on how to upgrade the CC2652. It's fairly easy and it's pretty awesome. And I use that one for my little test system and I use it for my production network. And it's stupid rare I ever have any issues with it. It just freaking works. And that's that same chipset I did with that 1500-foot Zigbee link. I did that with two of those as well. So it just works. Yeah, someone's gonna take someone's gonna tell you to spend $50 on buying some Hughes. So yeah, go buy your and they also, you can use if you need a good router, it's USB. I know it sounds probably overkill but $15, buy two of them. I know I'm not saying that just because Kenny is here. Buy two of them. It's $30. I don't know what is shipping, $5-10, and then you can have you a router. We'll plug in just a USB. You can flash one as a router. And know what I mean flashing. You're not soldering anything to it. Is if you use that little script, you can just plug it in USB and just send the little hex file to it and be done with it. So, yeah, the Singled doesn't have the routing from what I've saw. What were you having problems with, James, on updating that firmware? I'm actually running the latest firmware on that one. The dev. Was it Z-Stack or something like that? Where's it? Koenig. Z-Stack firmware. He has, what's the latest on develop? Coordinator, 14 days. Did he update since then as well? 14 days ago. I don't remember if I'm running that one or not. Oh, okay. So he's running. Okay. I might have to try that one out. So yeah, the Z-Stack stuff should be fairly simple to, if you use, I highly recommend which I did go over in my video. If you look through my older videos, there's I think it was in December or so. And it's a little simple script, and especially with the Sonoff Zigbee dongle USB thing, you can just put the Sonoff bootloader switch in there, and you just run it, and it will send the hex file over. But do make sure, no COM port. Easy fix for that is in if you're using Windows 10, is plug it in, come in here and check for updates and look for, it'll say view optional updates, and just plug it in and hit check for updates. And if it has view optional updates, click it, and I bet you that'll be that driver for that CP chip. And you can just let it install and let Windows do all the work for you. And yeah. Yeah, the 2530s work great as well for routers. I think there was another 2530. There was one with the PA on it. Yeah, I haven't had any issue with Linux on it. You just plug it in and go pretty much, I found. But on Windows, I guess I've already had the driver for doing like all the, the chips and stuff for like the Node MCU stuff and the little Wemos things. I've had all the drivers loaded for those, and so they use the same. But I have do just go in there and look for the optional updates and let Windows do it. It'll fix it. Yeah, the hues. I do have a couple of the hues. If I can eventually get past to doing the get time to do some of the comparisons. Yeah, where it does work first try on Linux for the most part. So up and running was Sonos Zigbee. Will I lose anything by upgrading my devices that are paired doing Zigbee MQTT? If you're using, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know of a way if you are using like ZHA to migrate to Zigbee to MQTT. Now, when you say Sonos Zigbee, you're using the Sonos Zigbee bridge or using the Sonos Zigbee USB, the one we just showed from this one here. And you don't have to get it from Cloud. I'm just trying to give it a good option for people on Cloud Free. It's pretty cheap. You can get it from Amazon. You can get it from IT themselves. But I just wanted to show you. See Sonos Zigbee. And you see I'm not shitting you on that. $33 on Amazon. Cloud Free has it for $15, so plus shipping. But yeah, if I think you do have to repair. Yeah, so Mark's right. You have to pair everything. And hey, if ZHA works great for you, just stick with it. Zigbee to MQT allows me to do. People ask, well, why do you run Zigbee to MQT? I'm sorry, I keep bumping the mic. I had it too close to me. Why do you run Zigbee to MQT? Well, it's decoupled. Prime example is this did not work for the last release. Is my alarm decoder panel. It would say unknown on all these sensors. And I didn't like that. You had to go toggle them. Anytime you rebooted it would go unavailable or an unknown or something like that. Well, they did fix it. But if I wanted to roll back, I would be super nervous if I wanted to roll back my container back to December. And if I had all my Zigbee stuff in there. Well, I didn't have to think twice about it because my Zigbee stuff is not in Home Assistant directly. It's in Zigbee to MQTT. And I wasn't going to be touching Zigbee to MQTT at all. And so I could just roll back Home Assistant. It's decoupled. And so I don't have to worry about that issue. So now if you are switching or upgrading firmwares, or because I have switched between different coordinators, like I know a lot of people love the if I 404'd it, a lot of people do love the tubes. Okay, he's just low stock. He's not out of stock. They love the tubes coordinators because they are Ethernet and they don't have to pass through USB ports. You can switch through those with Zigbee to MQTT without any issue. It will back up and convert with those. So So yeah, Tube does a lot of cool stuff as well. But of course, you're gonna pay more versus, like I say, that $20 or so off of Cloud Free versus, you may have to pick. Hey, I want Ethernet. I want a case. Say I want a dark blue case, and then so that's $58. He does a power over Ethernet one, which is pretty slick. Case color, I want dark blue. And see, they're already $85. But of course, you are getting a power over Ethernet Zigbee coordinator versus a USB one. So, how do you back up Home Assistant but not my various Docker images? Back up those folders. See, I'm not going to really apply for what your stuff may have, Justin. I know I'm going to say Zippy were talking about that, or Zippy Zappy, whatever his name was. They were talking about that a while back on doing some synchronization. I just use, but I do have to pay for it. But I have a lot of data up there. I use Crash Plan Pro. Yeah, it's not a bad deal to do. I would do one on the free option, but I'm using Crash Plan Pro. I've got like several terabyte up there. So it does versioning and all that stuff, but you do have to pay monthly for it. So I don't know if I was in. Let's see what time it is. 10:07. Oh, yeah, you got Google Drive. I haven't. I don't know if I'm gonna get to it based on. I was trying to get to the new things of the Blairy stuff. I don't know if you have noticed the Blairy stuff has changed a good bit. Oh, I want to show a picture. Something cool. I did. See, I find one that's halfway decent. I did finally get that scene switch installed, and next to a Martin Jerry dimmer, and then that's that fan controller. And man, I love this damn thing. I have it now. This was just for a show. I actually have it now. The top light is red or green for my alarm, whether it's armed or disarmed, and then white if I have a door open, and then I have it go back to red or green, whatever it was, and then I have the washer and dryer as this. I haven't done something with the third one yet. The washer and dryer is red for dryer or blue for washer, and of course, if you know your color schemes, red and blue make purple. So if it's purple, then both are running. So, yeah, that's pretty slick. It's running off 5. I do have inside in Old Crazy Eye did approve of it. I did cut a piece of aluminum and I grounded a piece of aluminum because of all things, I could not find a damn plastic isolation in the box. I just cut a piece of aluminum and then grounded it in case something came off to isolate my ground, my low voltage to high voltage. So, and so look, there's Old Crazy Eye right there. Yo, you're wondering it's Mike D22. He's in my Discord. Where's it at? He makes those. Let me close all these damn windows. I got too many things open. CloudCutter. This one. He also. I showed this briefly on one. He makes this board, this multi crazy input board for doing it's kind of look at it as connected alarm on steroids, the real way it should be done. And I'll see if I can find his Tindy store. And he hasn't. They're pre-assembled. I did put an ESP32C3 on it because I wanted to do. This is his different thing, his alarm board. But his crazy alarm board let me see if I can find his. Let's see. He's doing a 6 button now too, or he's trying to do one. I think. Multi button. Yeah, here it is. And I do have Tasmodo on it, and it does run off 5 volts, but it does have them built for you. Pre-built or pair. Look at this. Here you go. He's got a little store. Look at this. There you go. Logic's Home. No affiliation. I think he's just cool. Dude is a mastermind of building different things. So pretty cool stuff. Let's see. Yeah. I don't know how much he has it for. Let's see. Oh, $20 with plus probably shipping. This is what the back of it looks like. If I can zoom in on it. Yeah. I don't know if he has the option for the ESP32C3. I swapped mine out. And it does, like, there's just 5 volts it runs off of. So, and the LEDs are slick because, look, here's Mike right there, right? Come on, we gotta have a big picture of Mike, bruh. But he's got all the stuff. He's got the templates, all the set options. Is cool and stuff. But the thing is, you can do the LEDs. They're WS2812s, so it's red, green, blue, and then you can set the brightness. I run mine super dim, and so I'll run like see if I can find it in Node Red. It's gonna be blown out for y'all. Let's see. Alarm state. Yeah, see right here. I just send MQTT to it, and so I just send over to command. Like I just send over to the MBR, the logic switch LED 3, and I send over 10 0, 0, 0, which is just 10 out of 255 for full brightness. So this would just be red at 10, and then this is for the green at 10. So, yeah, if I can zoom out on it without, that's some of my alarm stuff that gets kind of crazy. So, for doing different flows, but I mean, some of it can. I just prefer. I know a lot of people do stuff with Home Assistant stuff. They do have those flows and stuff, but it's like I just find stuff easier to read on doing things like with like humidity stuff, and then it's like because I have stuff where like humidity goes up, it turns on the vent, it starts a timer, so I don't kind of like a dead band. And so I run my vent for like 5 minutes and then it holds the light. So when you're taking a shower, the light stays on, and I do all that inside Node Red. So yeah, and I will say I started with Node Red probably 3 or 4 years ago, and the automations were just I'll be blunt, it was horrible. There was no like GUI or anything, and do it all in YAML. It was confusing. It's come a long way, but I prefer Node Red because even though I do code stuff at work and everything, I just prefer, I don't know, I can see it easier. And just depends on what I'm doing. Some of it's a mess, but I still find stuff easier to do. I don't run all kind of crazy flows, but it just depends on what I'm doing. So, yeah, and that was the one thing I loved about. Now you got to think this was back 3 or 4 years ago. Is we didn't have all this part wasn't here. this just reload pieces. Hey, I just want to reload my automations. I just want to reload MQTT. I just want to reload. That wasn't there. You made any YAML changes, and especially the Pi users, you had to hit check configuration, and then you had to hit restart. And the Pi users, they sat there, and it was going to take, a couple minutes to reboot, and that sucked. So that's why, and even though I did run it container, it was only taking 10 or 15 seconds. It was just like you change something, you had to reload. Change something, you had to reload. Change something, reload. And Node-RED made it where I could do faster development, and I could also see it a little easier as it stepped through with the debug nodes. So that's why, and I part of my job is also doing a business flow management where we bring cases and stuff through from different people and their titles, and they do different things, and so it has business flow rules, and so I'm kind of used to doing business flows, and so it just makes sense to me. So pies are great. I've got a couple pies, Neil. They're expensive right now, so yeah. See, Rasby, it's that real. If you were really good about and it's like I spent more. That was my trouble. Was I spent more time Googling how to learn the syntax, and I'd forget a tab, and I forget this, and I was like, I probably don't write the most efficient stuff in Node-RED, but it just made sense to me. And then when I can, I just go straight MQTT and read MQTT without having to go through Home Assistant, and so I just prefer to use Node-RED a lot. And it just, like I say, it made really quick deployments of automations. So don't worry, tinkerer. Now I'll mess with you, Neil, on this one. Is it tinkerer or tinker? I don't know how that one is. So what else we had in the queue? I know we're coming up to 2 hours. What are you guys using for your HA? Yeah, Docker. I'm using what I had way before I even knew what Home Assistant was. I'm using a Docker containers with Unraid, and I run all separate containers. And so there's Home Assistant, and if I want to restart it, I don't run. You can see I have Node-RED sitting right here. I got MQTT sitting there right there. There's my Maria DB. So that's just what I actually have it running on a Ryzen 3 something. Don't ask me. 3600. So I've got 12 core with 32 gig. Yeah, 32 gig of RAM. So yep. Syslog. I was doing that for doing syslogs from some Tasmota switches, I believe. So yeah. So that's how I run everything separate. And people wonder, like, hey, well, how do I roll something? Like I was talking about rolling something back. I'm not going to do it, but I'll show you. Is Docker, like if I want to roll back to a version of Home Assistant, say I want to roll back to 2212, right? 2112, Travis. You mean I've been drinking enough. So say I wanted to run back to this version for some reason. I did this the other day because my alarm decoder wasn't working right. So I want to roll back to that version. It's this simple. Is I just come in here and hit edit. Now you Docker Compose, you do the same thing. You just got to edit your Docker Compose file. But change the tag on the end. And if I come in and I hit apply, Unraid would automatically pull down that container with that tag or that version and start the container back up, and Home Assistant would be boom. Within 30 seconds or less, I would probably be on that December version of Home Assistant without having to redo or do backups or restore things or deal with whatever. And again, it goes back into, I don't have anything in there like Zigbee or Z-Wave or nothing like that. I can just boom and just roll it back because it's all decoupled. And it will keep all of my automate. I do have some automations in Home Assistant itself. So I don't remember why I have that. Oh, crazy eye. I just threw that in there of, I don't know if what I have in there at all. I used it for something one day and I don't remember. Apparently nothing is sending to it right now. So one last thing before I jet. You do. I see. I have it. There's a syslog under settings. I think it's what I was doing, Tony, with the syslog. I was doing some of those solos of Mark. Definitely hit up Mike. His name is Mike D22 in my Discord. And I don't know I know you're already in there, but if others, if a Nightbot will finally wake up. If you're not in the Discord, go look for Mike D22. I know he said he was going to try to be here this evening, but he had to work. I know he works some different schedules. So definitely look in projects and shares and stuff, and you'll see in there. I would say feel free to tag him. I know he works different shift works and stuff, and so just give him time, and he'll get back with you. I'm sure y'all can work something out in PM and potentially get you something over to your side of the border, Bart. Pretty cool guy. He's dude is crazy, like mastermind nuts of what he does. He's making like that 6-button scene controller is going to be pretty slick. I think. I don't know if he still has. I think I was on his Discord of it's still on there. Not Discord, his GitHub was Logix. I think he had the board on his GitHub. How hard is it to difficult? What do you? Let's see. Oh, that's not hard to do. You just really need to install Node-RED. Does he have it still on here? Multifunction, stream server. He had this, I want to say he had this 6-button on here. May have taken it off temporarily. But he had it in, he had some initial shots of it. And it's really, it's 6 buttons with 6 LEDs. You just go in there and add the palette. That's all it pretty much is. If you go in here and add, where's it at? It's just called Node-RED Contrib Home Assistant WebSocket. And then for MQTT, just add your own MQTT. It's that simple. I actually went over how to put in the key. There's an API key that you have to make in your Home Assistant. So that long-term key, I think it is. And that way they can talk through that WebSocket securely, even though it's on your same network. So I went through and did that on my last video of where's it at? That was like last summer. Yeah, right here. The get shareable link. Yeah. So that I went through and did that one of how, and I went through and did Node-RED, and I did the stuff for how to do putting, like, even did the VM for Home Assistant if you wanted to. So let's see. Is Docker yeah, long lasting token. Is Docker HA better than HA on VM? I prefer just not to have that VM because it's like locked down of just not have everything. I like to be in control and be, you know, hey, I can control what version of Node-RED. I can control how MQTT works. There's stuff forced upon you in supervisor at different times. I know there's some nice things in there, but then for like, I know the Zigbee to MQTT, I don't really prefer the way they did that with that weird config. And then like Frigate, how do you mount different things? There's some weird containers in there. Are you still using MQ? So the Tasmota integration still uses MQTT. Yeah, there's that. The VM, you can just snapshot the whole thing and you can save the whole thing and make multiple copies of the whole. It has its pros and cons. So there isn't really the best way to run it. Use the way that you feel best. That would, you know, you're the one that supports it. So whatever feels more comfortable to you, I would run that. So did you get your flip-flops, oh crazy eye? Did you spray tan your legs, or was that someone else talking about that? Yeah, so you gotta have your flip-flop. So I'm not actually barefoot tonight. So, you know, it's back to being warm. So don't run off everybody at IKEA. I don't have an IKEA around here. I can just go to Walmart and buy me some non-Zigbee stuff. I might have. I guess I can go to Target if I wanted to buy a Hue, I guess, right? So one last thing I wanted to, and I probably will do something with them, is I did like them, but I know a lot of y'all are US based. Is the new little switches by Shelly. I don't know if y'all have seen those. I want to do a video on it just because I'm hoping that they will see it and I'll push it to him. Make some damn US North America ones. Where's they have the buttons. Wall switch. They have them on here yet? Yeah, so they have momentary wall switches that their relays pop into. And they're pretty damn slick. They've got a 1 button, 2 button, and 4 button. And I don't know about y'all. I don't have a Menards around me. So when I try to go buy a momentary single light switch, they're like $30. And if I want to go try to buy, I've tried to go look up some ones that were just 2 button momentary. And they're stupid expensive. Well, they can make some 4 button ones, but they're of course all EU based. So on the size of them. But they're pretty cool for being able to snap things into them. I did print out a little block. I wouldn't say little. It's like an inch damn tall conversion. I want to see how it would look. I need to go a little shorter. But yeah, I wish they would make a North America one. And because I would definitely say that they would sell them. Because it's just, unless y'all got some hidden stash where you can find a 4 button momentary switch that is North America based, that is AC mains rated, that would be awesome. And these just pop in. I have, hold up one second. So I have 1 or 2 or 3 or something. I need to get up anyway. Sit in that chair too long. Yeah, so they have these are the EU ones, but they just take and pop in. Let me turn this off. Is you just take the Shelly Plus line or whatever it may be, these little new sizes, and they just pop straight in. If I can get them to pop in. Why is it not going in? These went in fine earlier. Probably didn't have the wires on them. Let's see. Oh, this one did fit. Why is this one not fitting? Is this the wrong size? And this is the one? Yeah, that must be for the other one. Okay, my bad. That's why they have two clips, Travis. So they just fit in the back. And pretty cool that they fit straight in. Now, this was that little block I printed. It was big as hell. But then it would sit in here. And then I could put it on my top of my thing, and then you could put a plate on top of it, right? So pretty cool little switches. I just wish they would make a North America one. I'm guessing that's probably for their smaller Shellys. What I was trying to jam it into like an idiot. I'm sure y'all are laughing on me in chat. I can't see. So yeah, so this was that new little i4, and then I posted pictures on my thing in the Instagram, the i4, and then they had the new Shelly 2 PM. I haven't gone through that one all yet, but they're all using an ESP32 solo. But I thought that was pretty cool that they had like the single buttons, and then they had the double buttons, and then they had the quads. But I want to see a North America like that. That's pretty slick. And I think it would work well for, like, I know Sour was talking about it earlier, for doing, putting like little labels on them. So especially for the 4. Yeah. Yeah, that block, I think when someone designed it, look how big this sucker is they designed it for that Sonoff T1 or something it was, and they designed it where it wouldn't even, it would stay seated in where you couldn't see how it totally disappears. But you wouldn't need that. You could just really, if you 3D printer guys that could go through, make a small adapter. And of course, it's only going to fit on a 1 gang plug, but you can see this fits inside, no problem. And it would just needs an adapter of some sort. It could be very thin, just for you to be able to screw onto the box, and then screw onto this. So it doesn't need to be thick like that, because this actually can fit straight in the box, no problem. There's no clearance issues with that. So pics of this thing on Instagram. I posted it on, I don't push that too much. Let's see what picture I posted. I'll switch to it in a second. Insta. So I'm not pulling up chicks, crazy risque chicks in their bikinis or some crap. I don't know how they get by with some of those pictures on Instagram and stuff. Yeah, so this was the Shelly 2 PM. Haven't done a video thing on it yet. Shelly does pretty good stuff. I do like what they're doing, so I do support them on that. Because you can take stuff straight out the box and don't need their app to pair stuff, and you can do MQTT, or you can flash them as well. So yeah, this is just that picture I was showing. I was talking about. So yes, it is ESP32 solo, meaning single core, just like the Shelly 1 Plus I did, or Shelly Plus 1. That plus 1 sounds weird. It's like your plus 1 going to a wedding, and that plus 1 PM. So, yeah, I do agree with that, Mark. The Wi-Fi sensors, no, just maybe when Wi-Fi 6 comes, the Wi-Fi sensors will be better, but it's just you can't compete with that. Just Zigbee or Z-Wave if you do that thing for battery sensors right now. I do. Tony Lamont, and I did it in the last giveaway. He has a little USB adapter that makes it stupid simple to flash those things. And it does work great. I emailed him to see where we can get if we can get some more. Oh shit! At least that wasn't ice or drink. That was just a bunch of screwdrivers. He makes an adapter. You can see I have it on. I was messing with it. He makes this adapter that is micro USB. Let me zoom in on here. And it has those same little pins that are on the back. Wait for the camera to reset. Go back to regular zoom. And then all you do is take and plug it in to the Shelly on the back. And you don't have to do any soldering or anything. You can just plug it straight in. And then you can do your flashing straight from there and just plug this in through USB. Pretty slick what he did. And with Tony, he's in Australia, I believe. And I'm trying to see if he sells them on a little store or anything, but they're really stupid handy for flashing these new little Shelly devices. So now I got pins and screwdrivers everywhere on the floor. Yep, so those are pretty slick. So I'll try to see if I can do something more with the Shelly. I haven't dug through the original Shelly ESP8266s. You can OTA those still out the box. The new plus one lines that are ESP32, you can't do those as of now. That was these right here. I don't want to do full screen. Y'all can be able to see it. I'm sure I got a shot of it somewhere at the beginning. I think is what I have. Yeah, see, they're ESP32s. And that's kind of their new thing because, again, they are doing Bluetooth with them. And that does lead me to another subject I wanted to try to get to, but I don't think we will based on time. It's been 2 hours anyway, so I'll probably leave you with that, is the new Blairy stuff that Tony Fab has just done amazing work on trying to even making it. He invalidated my whole video, which is cool, but it makes it so much easier to set up Blairy now for doing those Bluetooth sensors. So, so yeah, we'll I've got my little 3D printer still that me and my son put together, that little folding thing, and then I had that Prusa 3, I think, that I've had for a few years. So Just needs to be a thin plate. I think the thickness is going to be driven by the screws, what we can do, and for like the depth of them. And I can send you a bunch of pictures of that stuff, James. If you can just email me at the channel name at Gmail, and so I can get your email, and I'll send you ass loads of pictures of how the thing make it easier. So I get direct measurements and everything as well. So they're pretty cool. Oh, before I forget, if y'all were doing the sensor stuff, go check out Tony's stuff. He's pushed it into master, and remember that whole thing about it had to go install all the little files and everything? Guess what? He just made a copy and paste. It drops right in, and the install is stupid easy and has all the little commands to add devices. I'll go through and probably... I don't know, I kind of wanted to do it here, but we got sidetracked and just talked for 2 hours on random crap, which is good. So, but I want to try it actually on that little 4-button thing for doing Bluetooth on that solo. But maybe I'll get to do it tomorrow. So definitely go check out Tony's new version of that if you are doing Blairy. I mean, he's got a bunch of new sensors in here, so the list has gotten bigger. Well, all the Groovy sensors and all the stuff, all the cool sensors for being able to do the Bluetooth stuff straight in the Home Assistant. So, and I know it looks like he's working on some other stuff as well. Pretty cool stuff. Anything else that isn't massively that we can still kind of go over? I do appreciate everyone watching and everything. Maybe we'll take a few more small questions. So, I'm trying to set up another cool... Teddy couldn't make it tonight. I did kind of I've been busy with work. I've got like 2 camera installs this weekend. I don't know if I'll make a full video, but I'm going to try to, because I've had people ask, hey, what are the do's and don'ts on doing a camera install? And I've got a place that doesn't have a lot of personal effects, and it's a house behind a church that I'm doing for them, and so I should be able to catch some footage of my initial assessment of where I want cameras and where I don't. I think it is a square or rectangular building, and it's a kind of a cheat, but some of the things I'll look for trying to catch cameras, and some of the tips I'll see if I can catch some footage of that. Maybe I'll try to do some do's and don'ts that I've done over the past of doing camera installs. So if y'all are interested in any of that crap. So, so are there any other questions? We've been running for what? 2 hours and 15 minutes. So you could pretend it's not. Yeah, it's. I think it's gonna be a little. Got a couple of things I'm gonna do, because I think I've got 6 or 4. It's gonna be these little. I think it's 4 cameras. They're little V-zoom. It was just some NVR I got, and it's not that great of an NVR, but the church needed something. They don't have a big budget for anything, and they're just some little V-zoom cameras. I had an issue with a couple of them. They sent me some additional ones. I'll see how they work. So I got it for free to kind of review, maybe I'd do a full review, and then the church, I'm not going to charge them anything to install it, so it's a kind of a win-win for them. So yeah, and there's no internet access out there. They just want it for NVR. I may eventually put like a wireless bridge to it, but the app was kind of weird. But so, and speaking of apps, I don't know if y'all seen this. I don't know if some other channels have shown this, but I had an issue. I haven't reviewed this yet because the app did not work for letting me pair it. And then when you try to install the app, it was some kind of boot. I just wasn't installing bootleg stuff on my phone, so I've held off on it. And then I don't like to rush a review. I like to try it out. But this was that Eufy lock that had the fingerprint lock, and it had a camera on it. Plus, it had a touch panel on it for pins. And it did also have a actual lock for when shit happens. Whenever, so if you want to use a regular key to it. So I haven't been able to really try it out yet, see how it works. But this is kind of, I just stuck it together to see how it would work. And this, of course, this is the inside of it on this side for doing the lock. But I'm sure there's no local API to it or anything. It's probably going to be in its own cloud and it's going to sleep and everything. But I don't know if I'll end up doing a full thing on it. Maybe they'll eventually get the app. I saw they had like a Kickstarter on it already. But I couldn't get it working right with their app. So I'm kind of glad I didn't throw it in the door. Is it feasible to use Home Assistant in a commercial environment? I would say yes, if you can work in a maintenance contract with it for support, because you know you're gonna have to constantly kind of keep up with it, or someone is. So I would definitely make sure they have a maintenance contract with that if you can do it commercially. I do know of another guy that does. I helped him out with doing some installs locally here, and he does some networking and stuff with home automation. And I've helped him out a couple times in the past. I know he does different things commercial. I just don't know what aspect of things. But definitely working that maintenance contract, and I would make it where you control all the upgrades, not somebody else. And follow that principle, the KISS principle. Keep it simple, stupid. Don't go crazy. That's back to that decoupling thing and making it the most reliable. So, yeah. All right. I didn't really have anything else. We covered most of my stuff. I didn't get to unbox some of the Virage stuff. He does some cool packaging and stuff with it, but definitely if you're in Canada and you want some pre-flash stuff, or even US, go check his stuff out. I'll try to go through all the links and what we talked about and put them down in the description for everybody that is checking them out. So, all right, everybody. I appreciate you hanging around for the nonsense and the chit-chat back and forth. I'll try to catch up in some of the people in Discord and stuff, and that's about it. And y'all take care. It's not lame. Look how cool it is.
I didn't even have walls.
And no walls.
Windows. Somewhere by the emerald sea, where the moon and water meet, somewhere close to harmony, when the world is sound asleep. the sky.